Hello, my name is Andrew Hillary-Onuegbu, and my food heritage presentation will be on the regional differences for food in Spain. The food scene in Spain is incredibly diverse, with major regional variations influenced by native foods, climates, and culture. The range of foods shows the rich history of the country and the many different cultures who have called the Iberian Peninsula home, each of whom have had an important impact on Spanish food. So this is the map of Spain. Spain's food culture was shaped by Roman staples such as olive oil, wine, bread, Moorish influences such as rice, citrus, and spices, and a Colombian exchange after 1492, which introduced tomatoes, potatoes, and peppers, transforming Spanish foods into the rich tradition that it is today. There were specifically three countries that I was interested in learning more about the food culture. Those three countries were Italy, France, and Spain. I ultimately chose Spain out of the three of them since it was the last one available, though I have a good amount of friends and or acquaintances from Spain, and I believe I would still want to visit them, and I'm using this as sort of preparation for when that eventually happens to see what I could potentially be expecting. The varied climate of Spain, from the coastal Mediterranean to the chilly rain north and a hot, dry south, influence regional food by deciding whatever animals, which could be sheep, cattle, shellfish, and crops, such as olives, grapes, wheat, and circus, could flourish. So, food in Spain is pretty much indistinguishable from daily life and community. Long, late lunches remind us that eating is meant to be savored, not rushed, while tapas cultures, hopping from bar to bar, having small plates with friends, speaks to the Spanish way of seeing food as a way for people to interact. The Mediterranean diet, built on olive oil, bread, vegetables, and seafood, really forms the whole base of this heritage. But the true richness comes from how each region interprets those samples of food. Spanish meals are very specific. Spanish meal times are very specific. With the exception of urban areas, lunch is usually the main meal of the day, eaten between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., and most of the time followed by a siesta. Unlike in America, dinner is a much lighter meal, eating eating much later, usually between 9 and 10 p.m., or even later when they're in the summer. A common social habit, tapas are small meals that vary widely by place and season. People frequently enjoy them when bar hopping. The geography and history of Spain are reflected in the wide range of Spanish cuisines. While towns inside relied on livestock, grains, and sturdy stews to get through the long winter, coastal areas looked to the sea for survival and wealth. The flavor sense was influenced by the Moors' introduction of almond, citrus, and spices. Later, the Americans added tomatoes, potatoes, and peppers, which are now essential ingredients in Spanish food. Spanish now has one of the most diverse food landscapes in Europe because of these influences, which overlaid native traditions rather than erasing them. Andalusia. Sorry if I butcher some of these names. So the southern region of Andalusia is a prime example of adaptation. Its cold soups like salmorejo and gazpacho were created out of the need, transforming basic ingredients into a refreshing meal that helped people withstand the scorching summer heat. Tapas, which have their origins here as well, embody the Andalusia Andalusia hospitality culture, which views dining as a communal experience in taverns and plazas rather than a private dinner. Valencia uses food, particularly pala, to tell a story of the society and the fertility of the land. Pala, which was traditionally prepared outside over wood fires, was a family meal that bound people to their fields and to one another rather than being a restaurant dish. Valencia's economic history and Moorish heritage are still shown in horchata, a sweet drink prepared from tiger nuts. So Basque country, Pintox, and Chacoli. Sorry again, I'm butchering the name. Creativity and ingenuity can be seen in this country. Small, delicate nibbles balanced on bread, known as pintox, are a perfect example of the region's ability to transform something regular and ordinary into something very creative. Their custom of matching regional Sacoli wine with food shows the connection of environment and food. Catalonia strikes a mix between elegance and rustic roots, while Crema Catalana, with its citrus and cinnamon notes, highlights the region's long tradition of gourmet cooking. Hearty stews like escudella highlight the value of family meals. Food is emphasized as ritual and celebration in seasonal customs like calcutadas, where people get together outside to roast onions and dip them in romanzo sauce. The northwest coast of Spain is home to Galicia, a region that thrives on the tides. Tender octopus with paprika and olive oil, or pulpo a la Gallia, is not only a dish but also a cultural custom that is frequently eaten at celebrations. It represents the balance between land and sea that really characterizes Galician life and is paired with Albarino wine from the area's vineyards. Casa de la Mancha, Don Quixote's home, Casa de la Mancha, is a harsh and rugged place, and its food shows it. Made from resilience, sheep that flourishes in barren plains, Manchego cheese is a symbol of perseverance and heritage. Toledo's marzipan, which is flavored with honey and almond, connects the area to its Moorish heritage and its importance as a crossroad of cultures. Asturias stands out from its simplicity and power. Its fabada, a nourishing bean stew with morcilla and chorizo, was created to support miners and farmers who worked incredibly hard. Even cinder, poured with flourishes from high up above the glass, shows community. It showed that it isn't about drinking alone, but with other people, like a ritual. Madrid, as the capital, is where traditions truly come together. Its famous calamari sandwich is the pinnacle of sweet foods, but it also symbolized Madrid's willingness to take elements from all throughout Spain and transform them into its own. Castilla y Leon and its farmed roast suckling pig in Segovia is a symbol of celebration and culture. Cochineal, Cochinillo, a ceremonial dish that celebrates family get togethers and centuries old techniques, is slow cooked until the skin is crisp and the meat is soft. So, several factors contribute to the different and unique regional differences in Spain cuisines. Firstly, the geography and climate. Spain's varied terrain and climates directly impact the availability of local produce and livestock, leading to special things in regions. For example, the coastal regions are very good when making seafood, while inland areas are known for meat and stew. There's also historical and cultural influence because the section of cultures that have influenced Spain including Greece, Romans, Jews, and of course Moors, have each introduced like new ingredients and ways to cook. Hmm. The discovery of the Americas also brought staples like tomato, vanilla, chocolate, beans, and potato to the Spanish diet. These regional differences are not minor. They represent the overall history, geography, and population of Spain. Each food is a symbol of adaptation to hard winters, hot summers, mountains, seas, foreign conquistors, and trade around the world. But pride is also represented by each dish. You can see the food is more than just nourishment. When you ask a Valencian about their pala, a Castilian about their Rome lamb, or Galician about their shellfish, it isn't just food, it's identity. Therefore, Spain's natural food is more of a mosaic rather than just one unified cultural tradition. This diversity is what really makes it strong. These local dishes work together to form a living legacy that connects Spaniards to their earlier generation, their homelands, and one another as well. They act as a reminder that the best dining experience is never simply about eating, rather, it's about our identities, history, and the ways in which we tell those stories to others. And here are my references. Thank you for listening to my presentation.